Okay, so let's head to Tokyo, which is without a doubt the culinary capital of the world. But I want you to forget about all the famous restaurants, the ones you can find on a map. We're going looking for something else. The places that have absolutely no interest in being found, in fact, they're actively trying to stay invisible.
It's kind of wild to think about. In a city that has more Michelin stars than anywhere else on the planet, there's this entire parallel universe of dining happening in the shadows. We're talking places with no websites, no phone numbers listed, not even a sign on the door. And getting a seat, well, that has nothing to do with how much money you have.
I mean, just think about this for a second. If a cultural icon, a legend like B. Takeshi Kitano can't get in, what hope is there for anyone else? It's the ultimate proof that fame and fortune are completely worthless here. The only thing that matters is who you know. It's all about personal connection.
And if you want to understand just how seriously they take this secrecy, look at a place called Sugalabo. It's run by a chef who came from the legendary Zhou Rubishan Empire. You could literally walk by this place every single day and you would have no idea it was even there.
The entrance is hidden behind a false wall inside a totally separate business, a little coffee shop. It's straight out of a spy movie. And it really makes you wonder, right? Why would you go to such incredible lengths just to stay hidden? What is the point?
Well, to answer that, you kind of have to unlearn everything you think you know about fine dining. This isn't about being exclusive just for the sake of it. It's about a really deep, long-held philosophy of what it truly means to be a host.
This is the key phrase you need to know. Ichi gensan okotowari. It literally means first-time customers are declined. But it's not meant to be rude. The whole idea behind it is that you can't possibly give perfect service to a stranger because you don't know their tastes, their preferences, their history.
And look, this isn't some new, trendy thing. The roots of this go back for centuries. Back in the Edo period, a lot of high-end places operated on credit. You just settle your bill at the end of the month. So obviously, the owner had to know you, and more importantly, trust you. That tradition of serving a familiar, trusted group of people just stuck.
The whole system is built on this cultural bedrock called kizuna. It means these incredibly deep, lasting bonds of trust that you build with people over time. And for these restaurants, the relationship they have with the patron is a form of kizuna. We're talking relationships that can last for generations in a single family.
And that all ties into this beautiful concept of omotenashi. It's this idea of wholehearted hospitality. It's not just about getting you what you ask for, it's about anticipating what you need before you even know you need it. And to do that, to know someone's favorite drink, their allergies, maybe even what kind of mood they're in, you have to know them. A first-timer, by definition, can't really be served with true omotenashi. So if money and fame can't get you in the door, how does it actually work? Well, it all comes down to a completely different kind of currency. Let's call it the currency of trust.
It's a very specific, structured process. It starts with a shokai, an introduction, from a trusted regular who's known as a joren. That joren has to invite you to come with them. And here's the crucial part. Their reputation is now completely tied to yours. If you act up, you make a fool of yourself, it reflects badly on them. So after a few visits, if all goes well, you might finally earn the right to book a table for yourself.
The joren is the absolute key to this entire world. A true regular has such a deep relationship with a chef, they don't even need a menu. They'll just be served what the chef knows they'll love. They might have their own personal bottle of whiskey behind the counter and settle their bill once a month. They are the gatekeepers, the guardians of the restaurant's entire culture.
So let's say you've done it. You've navigated the introductions, you've earned the trust, and you finally get a seat. What's it actually like on the inside? Well, the experience is just as unique as the process to get there.
First off, the scale is just tiny. Forget about these big, sprawling dining rooms. So many of the most famous spots, like the legendary Mibu, have only 8 seats. That's it, 8. The whole evening is built around this unbelievable intimacy, this shared moment between just a tiny handful of people. And a lot of the time, there's just one chef preparing everything right there in front of you. There's no back kitchen. The cooking is the experience. The meal becomes this performance, a conversation between you and the artist. The chef is your host, your guide, everything, all rolled into one.
And you're not rushing through this. An experience like this unfolds over maybe 2-3 hours. It's slow, it's deliberate, it's almost a ritual. It feels like time itself just slows down, so you can really soak in every single tiny detail that's been so perfectly thought out for you.
Everything, and I mean everything, is dictated by shun. That's the Japanese idea of using an ingredient only at its absolute fleeting peak.
We're not talking about spring, summer, fall, winter. No, we're talking about a very specific type of peach that is perfect for just 1 week out of the entire year, or firefly squid that are only around for a brief window in the spring. The menu isn't just a list of food, it's a living calendar that can change every single day.
Now, all of this dedication and craft obviously creates some of the best food on Earth. Which brings us to this really fascinating paradox. Why would these chefs, who are at the absolute top of their game, actively reject the highest honors in the food world?
First, let's just get our bearings. By Michelin's own standards, Tokyo is the undisputed king. It has way more stars than its closest competitor, Paris. So the city is just overflowing with what the world considers to be excellence. And yet, you get stories like this one. Chef Kenichiro Nishi of Kyoji was offered 3 Michelin stars. 3. That is the absolute pinnacle of global dining. And he turned them down. Why would he do that? Because he knew that the flood of new customers and tourists would make it impossible for his beloved regulars, the people he'd built relationships with for decades, to get a seat. He chose his community over global fame.
That decision makes perfect sense when you look at it through the lens of the shokunin spirit. A shokunin is a master craftsman, but the goal is never personal glory or fame. It's about a social duty to perfect your craft for the good of others, and to find your own fulfillment in that process. From that point of view, something like a Michelin star is almost a distraction from your true purpose.
So when you put all of these pieces together, what you're really looking at are 2 completely different definitions of what it means to be a successful restaurant. On one side, you have the global model we all know, where success means being famous, getting bigger, getting public recognition and awards. But in this hidden world, success is defined totally differently. It's about the depth of your relationships, about sustainability, and about perfecting your craft for a small, trusted community.
And that kind of leaves us with this one last thought to chew on. You know, we usually think of great hospitality as being an open door, available to everyone. But this entire tradition challenges that. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, the highest form of hospitality, the most profound and personal experience you can have, is only possible when the host already knows who you are before you even walk through the door. It's not about keeping people out, it's about the magic of letting the right people in.